Hi, friends. How are you doing today? Today is going to be a great day, or it's actually halfway through the day, and it's still going to be a great day. For those of you that don't know who I am Angela Newberry. I am a certified life coach, and I help teens um, find their empowerment and their self-confidence, especially those teens and tweens that have been bullied in the past. So that's my focus, and I love, love, love what I do. I wish there wasn't a place in the world for what I do, but there is, and so I um, help as much as I can. So today we are going to talk about living in reaction versus living in intention. And I first want to explain to you what both of those mean. Living in reaction means that you're just kind of going through life, and when an event comes up, then you're like, oh, okay, I will react to it this way. I will do this. It's in response to the events that happen outside of you. That's living in reaction versus living in intention. Living in intention, I might have to say living with intention because that's a tongue twister for me. What that means is that you aren't just floating along, you're going with a plan. So when an event that maybe you don't expect happens, you intentionally come up with how you're going to deal with that. You don't just react. And reaction is a lot of times more emotional, whereas intention is more thoughts and you're thinking it through versus just reacting on emotion. So I have an example for you, a couple of them actually, from when I was a teenager. It really is true. I was a teenager once, a few years ago. So both of my examples are about something going wrong. And when I was 14, I was in my history class, and there was a boy in that class, and he was making me super uncomfortable. I didn't like it. And what I did is I turned and I looked at the teacher, and the teacher was looking straight at me because he could see what was happening. And he saw the look of shock on my face that I was feeling super uncomfortable. And he had a look of shock on his face. And I thought for sure he was going to help me. And he turned his head and looked away. And I didn't know what to do with that. I mean, he was supposed to be in charge and he didn't take charge. And so my reaction was, I did nothing as well. So what I chose to do was very reactive. Now, what I would have done if I had been living in intention was when I looked at him for help and he looked away, signaling that he wasn't going to give me help. If I had intention, then I would have come up with a plan quickly to deal with being made to feel uncomfortable. And I would have chosen to say something to this person, go, hey, I'm not good with that. I'm not, I don't like that, whatever would have. But having that plan and going, okay, plan A didn't work, the teacher didn't help me, plan B, excuse me, I'm going to tell him, stop it. My second example is, and these things really happen, y'all. The second example was in my class. I think I was 16, and the kid sitting next to me we were in Latin class, and he had the answers underneath his leg. And the teacher saw him cheating. And so the teacher walked over to him and said, stand up. He's like, no, you can't make me. And he's like, stand up. You are cheating. No, I'm not. You can't make me stand up. And then he started this whole make me. Well, the teacher, of course, couldn't really do anything about it. And if I had been reactive, which I was not, but if I had been reactive, I probably would have turned to the kid and go, just get up, stand up, or something like that. And then he would have started yelling at me and calling me names. And I knew that about this kid. And I didn't want him to do that to me. But I also didn't want him to get away with what he was doing. So I came up with a plan. I asked my teacher, can I go to the bathroom? And he, in his frustration, was like, yes. So I went to the bathroom, and what I really did is I went to the front office and said, yo, this guy, he's cheating, and the teacher has told him to get up because he's sitting on his answers, and he won't listen to him, and he's being like aggressive and mean toward the teacher. So could you go help him out? And so the principal or the assistant principal, one of the two, walked back to class with me, and I went and I sat down in my desk and started taking my test again. And the principal walked over to that kid and said, get up. Well, he got up and there were the answers sitting right there. So I thought it through, I planned it out, and I dealt with the trouble that was happening, which ended up a lot better of an outcome as the first one. The first one, I felt powerless. I felt like a victim. I felt like the world was happening to me. And the second one, I felt very much in my own power, and I felt like I was helping the teacher. And so I was very much in empowerment in that second situation, whereas the first situation, I wasn't. And in that second situation, if I had started yelling at the other student, he would have called me all sorts of mean names, and it wouldn't have been pretty, because then I would have been doing the same thing back to him, and I would not have been living in my own power. I would have been giving my power away to him. And I gave my power away in the first one because I did not, I lived in reaction instead of with intention. So that's what I've got for you today. When you see something wrong happening, whether it's to you or to another person or to the teacher, if you feel inclined to make the wrong right, or any situation you come up on, this can apply to any event that happens in your life. I want you to stop and think, am I going to react to this, or am I going to act intentionally? Reaction, act intentionally. And if you are acting intentionally, you're going to own your power, and you won't feel like the world is happening to you. You will be happening to the world. That's what I've got for you today. I hope you get to use that, because it is a super powerful, it's just a very small change in how you think about it, but it's huge in how you spend your day out in the world. All right, if you need my help, I have openings for clients. You can message me on whatever media you're seeing this video. Send me a message. We'll set up a consult, which means we'll talk. We'll see if you would be a good fit coaching with me. And then we can get started if that is something that you feel like you need or want. And bring your parent with you, because, parents are important. So just message me and we'll get started. And I hope you have a great rest of your week. I'll see you later. Bye.